Hello everyone, this is Marmar. Today we are going to be doing a new thing. It's a podcast. It's called Stargazer Cafe, and I am joined by my co-host Sparta. Say hello.
Hello.
So
Hello.
um, this podcast is going to be about various things. Not this episode, because today we are going to be covering WandaVision, right? It's a TV show. You might have heard of it. You have heard of it, right, Sparta?
I guess I have.
It's like $200 million budget, something like
It
that.
has the regular of the higher budget of a standard show, with the quality being slightly better than most. Eh,
I mean, The Mandalorian so far has impressed me more than WandaVision, but I guess that's because we are
well, yeah,
so
but the thing
far
is, like,
two
but
episodes
well,
in, and
well, thing is with the Mandalorian, it's more of a wider scope than WandaVision. WandaVision takes place in a more practical set, and
yeah,
it's more like cheaply cost with that stuff. Where in the Mandalorian, most of it's like either CG or partly
well,
practical.
some things in The Mandalorian were like practical, right? Like Baby Yoda
Not
is an
Most
animatronic.
is, but a lot of like basically a lot of the spacings and all that are basically CGI.
Well, compared to WandaVision, which is like, I am pretty
More of
sure
a
like
practical.
at least 90% of what we have seen is practical.
Sure, there's gonna be like a few hiccups, like some of the transitions or stuff like that's gonna be CGI, but most of it's practical. Especially
Yeah,
since it's a live studio audience TV show.
well, we don't know how much is live studio audience and how much isn't.
All of it is basically.
Speaking of the live studio audience, how much do you think like they got paid to keep silence?
Well,
Like,
they don't pay them; they just get an audience of people to be in there.
yeah, but
I
like,
don't think they. I don't necessarily think they pay the studio audiences.
I don't know. It seems kind of
Because
sus
usually
that.
when they do that, like especially back in the day, they just have them there to watch the show, like pick people and just have them watch, and those either laugh if a joke if they think it's funny, or they're told to laugh. But I'm pretty sure this is just uh, I think that's just the audience in general.
I don't know. It seems a bit sus to me that like there isn't really a leak from that audience about like stuff about the WandaVision.
I mean, is there no point of talking about them? Honestly, they're just there to watch the show. There's no like no
Yeah,
reason to actually
I
give them
get
information about
that,
them.
but like,
So what's the point of giving like information about them? Like what would they play by giving like say Rose 3 seat 15? He just sat there picking his nose the entire time while watching the show
no,
and
no, no. I
accidentally
mean,
fell asleep.
I don't mean like their opinions. I mean like they saw the show, like they know kind about the plot, so that's what I think it's kind of
I doubt
sus.
it. I doubt it. What? Even so, why would that really matter?
Well, I don't know. It seems to me like it's not a real live studio audience, or it might be what's it called?
And behind the scenes footage that, especially on a TV spot, they were shown to have a live studio audience. So yes, an actual live studio audience.
True, but
Even then, there's not even a reason why if them knowing prior is actually of any importance.
I don't know. It might be a double crossing. I might be pulling on nothing.
Necessarily no sort of importance for that. Just really to like speculate honestly. If anything, it's probably just like if anything, random people that got on the streets or like staff, family, and friends is there to watch. That's
True.
usually what there are.
They got a random hobo. The,
They typically do that. Like that's what they did back in the old days of TV. For, like those
yeah.
have random people who's like come in just to watch in
You know what I was surprised by?
what
They didn't take the chance to do like an old school Disney, like when the show went full color at the end of episode 2, I was full on expecting like the magic of Disney Technicolor and like the
I
Disney
don't,
logo.
I don't see why they would do that.
I mean, it was a pretty big thing when Disney went
Yeah,
color.
but thing is, it's in a
And
universe where pretty much I doubt Disney would have any significance to them at all.
true,
If it
but
was a joke within a more comedic centric show, like maybe it was animated or something like that, yeah, maybe. But I doubt that will have any significance playing in.
I mean,
It would just seem like weird to add in for no reason.
true. But do we know that WandaVision isn't like fully well? It's not fully comedic, but do we know the extent of how much comedy they are willing to put in?
Or they're willing to pulling enough if they're willing to go through each of the decades of sitcom like history. If they're going through each era and just pretty much reenacting how each would be on the in a time frame, honestly,
Yeah,
if
I
they're
guess
be
that's
willing to
true.
do it.
But I wasn't expecting that much comedy at first.
I mean, once you see like the premise, like they're just going through different sitcoms, I think it's right to assume that it's gonna be a little more comedic than usual.
Yeah,
Because
well,
back then, people didn't know what it was gonna be until like trailers start releasing. They start showing like, oh, they're gonna reenact, they're gonna put it like in some sort of sitcom way.
I
So
mean, we still don't fully know
it's
what it
right to
is.
assume that's gonna be fully comedic.
We still don't know what it is, and it's not fully comedic.
Yeah,
Like,
but still, it's right to assume it's gonna be comedic in sorts. It's kind of right to assume that
yeah,
because
it's
like
right to assume
you
it's
can't just like
comedic.
you just can't like show the like sitcom aspect of the show and not have anyone assume like, oh, it's gonna be some elements of comedy within the show.
Well, I still
It's
feel
kind of
like
like
there's something
it's
going
like
on.
it's like showing a scary monster within a movie and not having be very horror centric at all. Like that's kind of a weird thing to
The
implement. Saying
Shape of
that's not even a
Water.
thing.
That's a movie with a
But
monster. And I mean, the plot of that movie is not
the
about
thing is a different
horror.
story though. It's more like a romantic drama than anything.
Yeah,
Not really considered a horror movie by sorts. So
well,
that's not even considered the same thing.
hmm, I don't know. I really feel like there's something going on with the characters and all that
I
because
but it's only 2 episodes. Like
there was a girl cast for Monica Rambeau, the superhero from Marvel Comics. I don't know what superhero she is, but I know she is a superhero.
I mean, you can quickly look
And
it up.
yeah, I can look it up. I can just go into Google right now, right? It's
Yeah,
like
quickly look it up.
Monica Rambeau, right? Right?
I'm not
She's
sure. Like, you gotta tell the audience stuff that's not allowed. Like, you gotta inform people.
oh, she's Photon or Pulsar or Daystar, whatever. She was Captain Marvel.
I don't know. With the MCU, they tend to have like these type of characters and just add them in for no like significance.
I mean,
Like the giant man in Ant-Man
true,
Wasp.
but
He was technically a really important character within the Ant-Man mythos, but in that movie he's just there, not really playing much until the
he's
end.
just a
Even
guy.
yeah, like they tend to do that sometimes. Either they have like little to no significance, or they did, and they're just there
It's kind
as
of a
less another
double
character.
crossing. It's like,
So it's kind of iffy how they do with these type of characters that are slightly more obscure, but you just can't find a way to put it in yet. For all we know, she has it for purpose,
I
seeing that
mean,
she's nowhere near connected to her original character.
I believe Monica Rambeau works for Sword in the comics. Don't quote me
I
on
don't know,
that.
but how would Sword be involved in the situation though?
I mean, Sword is involved. Did you not see like the logo on like the girl who is looking through the thingies at the end of episode one? Or like the Beehive guy, he had a sword logo on the back and the toy helicopter.
Well, who knows? Honestly, it's gonna happen.
Well, we can make a few speculations. Like
Eh,
that girl Agnes, she has the first letter. She has a mix of the name Agatha Harkness, which is a character from the comics.
that's a bit of a stretch.
It's a bit
Because
of a stretch, but
Agnes was a very common name back in the 50s, so it's kind of a stretch to connect
I mean,
a similar name to a
Agatha
character.
Harkness is an old lady, so I feel like it would make sense to put her in the
Yeah, but
50s.
it's kind of a stretch though, honestly, and I don't see how she would play any significance into like soul stones or anything like
I
that.
mean, she's a witch,
Yeah, but
so
still, I gotta link them up. Like, how would her significance have to Vision and the Scarlet Witch, where we can hear her significance
mm,
and all this?
well, I personally don't know, but so a few rumors have circulated around
If
the
anything, it
internet.
might be just Marvel's way of like putting a little Easter egg for those fans that know a lot. They tend to
Yeah,
do that sometimes. Even if they don't play no significance, they can just have like a little Easter egg of them being there. And you're saying, oh, that's similar to this character. That's just Marvel giving like a wink nod to like to specific characters. I mean, DC does that a lot too.
yeah. Well, I guess that's true, but it's also fun to pick at random tidbits in like the background and such. Like I don't know. The whole thing just makes me speculate on what could be happening in the background. Like this sort of
I mean,
feels like
that's kind of the point, honestly.
yeah,
You're supposed to
because
wonder
this
what's going
sort of
on.
feels like Nightmare from Doctor Strange. It feels
Doubt
like
it.
he's doing,
Kind,
or
I kind of doubt it.
it could be Mephisto. It could
Kind of
be
doubt. I kind of
anyone.
doubt that. I kind of doubt since Mephisto is kind of told he's gonna lay off and all that stuff, and Nightmare is supposed to be the next Doctor Strange movie. I kind of doubt they're gonna release these two major characters within DC mythos
I mean,
as TV show villains. I doubt they're gonna do that.
they are
'Cause
making
they're
similar
kind of
into the TV show
they're kind of
villain.
high scale. Like, why would they release them on the show? It kind of doesn't make too much sense.
I mean, didn't Mephisto like do a deal with Spider-Man or something?
I don't think that was Mephisto. I think it's someone else.
No, I'm sure
No,
it was
no, it was
Mephisto in One
Mephisto.
More
It was
Day.
Mephisto. It was Mephisto, but that doesn't mean any significance to this at all. Like, if it was gonna be Mephisto, he most likely would show up in another Doctor Strange movie since he's very important there.
True.
I I kind of doubt he would want to bother with Scarlet Witch for little to no reason.
But I kinda heard that this show is connected to like Doctor Strange. Don't know how reliable those rumors are actually are. So it could be anything really.
I wouldn't trust rumors from like random site. Just either stick to what the show has stated or just what the show does.
Yeah,
Honestly, people can just say loosely say stuff like that just to like
it
make it
was
seem nice.
Howard the Duck all along.
Like I don't see Mephisto playing a role in this at all.
I don't see him
For all we
playing a
know, this
role.
probably her powers just going overcharged and just making things worse for her.
Probably. I mean, it could be anyone really.
Yeah, like I said, these type of characters they are more warranted for the movies.
It could even be like a dream Wanda is having. Like she's in a
Uh,
coma or something. And
uh,
like her powers are powerful enough generally to like make random new timelines, right? Like House
yeah,
of M.
she was able to recreate an entire different universe just because she wished it, basically.
I mean, House of M is a thing, and it was referenced in like a wine bottle. Like,
I
imagine
mean,
putting
that's just
an
a little
Easter egg in
nod
a wine
because that
bottle.
was a little nod because this is similar to that where it involves Wanda's powers
It's
basically
similar to that
recreating
and
another
that
universe.
one comic with the Vision, right?
In
That one
essence,
recent one.
they like to make nods to the source material like the House of M storyline. This show is like basically centered around her powers and all that, and what they're doing to this we don't know. and like that was what basically was the premise of House of M was her power is pretty much creating an entire new world. So it's pretty
Yeah,
much just a nod saying like this is loosely connected. This is loosely based off that in a sense. Well, based off like another source materials of Marvel Comics.
and I see some people saying that, like, this could be the catalyst to bringing mutants into the world. But
They were already
like,
brought in though. That's the thing.
I don't think if they make mutants, like, it would be in this show or
I mean,
as
they were already brought in. They were canonically already brought in already. So
yeah, but like
if
we
anything,
haven't
like
seen
from
any
what I heard, the
mutant.
New Units was technically part of the MCU from I believe.
No, it isn't. They have they even released it?
They released a while ago.
Oh, I didn't notice. Where was it
No one did.
released?
No idea.
Damn.
I
Well,
believe it's released. I'm not sure.
well,
But
they did say that the Fox stuff wasn't really gonna be part of the
it's just more or
movies.
less like the Marvel Fox, the X Men Fox stuff has gone down in quality a bit. Like Marvel Fox stuff is still pretty good. It's iffy with the X Men stuff.
I mean, X Men 1, it was okay. X Men 2, it was meh. X Men 3, The Last Stand, that was that was dumb. I feel like that movie was just made like we have Wolverine. We have to put his claws in a title. We have to make X Men 3. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Not really. That's not even about argument on.
Well, I don't know. Like, it just feels like to me
I agree.
that
That movie just that wasn't that the best. It was just very
it,
odd,
it was very dumb.
but it just seemed yeah. But I don't think the saying Wolverine was the main cause of it. Doesn't seem like anything.
No, I'm not saying it was the cause. I'm just saying that, like, if they bring something X Men like into the MCU, it's not going to be through a show. Like, it's something too big to bring in just one show. If they do bring it, I feel like it's going to be overarching. Like, WandaVision,
They already expressed interest, but the thing is, they have already stated that the X Men and the Fantastic Four are not coming in anytime soon. The most they're doing is Deadpool 3, which has been confirmed to be an MCU movie. So technically, he's going to be like I want to say the third canonical movie mutant within the universe.
I mean, we don't know what the deal with Deadpool is because,
It's already been
like,
confirmed that he's coming out already. Yeah,
they
but anytime
after
soon.
Disney bought Fox, they said, "Oh, the helicarrier in Deadpool 1 was actually the helicarrier from Avengers," and and then they do things like put what's his name Doc Professor X in like Deadpool 2 and the
Well, the
time
thing
travel
is, that
plot.
is canonical within the X Men universe. So
Yeah,
of course they're
but
gonna make that. Of course they're gonna make Easter eggs and nods to the wider X Men universe.
then they make references to the Marvel universe. So
Well,
like what?
Deadpool is breaks the fourth wall, so yes, he's gonna make references to outsource things.
Yeah, but like what's the deal with that? How are
That's
they
just his
going to
character.
explain that? No, like
Well, they didn't explain as this happened. He's just able to break the fourth wall. Like, how can the She-Hulk do it? No one knows. It just happens.
I guess She-Hulk is just crazy. But then again,
Like,
didn't
I
she
don't
like
think a
fuck
character's
with?
ability to break the fourth wall is not really a point. I think it's just a comedic essence of the character that they're able to break the fourth wall and speak to the audience and reference materials that are technically not existing to this universe.
True. Wait,
If anything, I think more or less he'll just make jokes of saying how like he just somehow managed part of this universe and all this and how everything just randomly appeared. It seems like more that stick they go for. Because
I feel
like
like
hell, they made fun of Batman and Green Lantern within the movie, and they're not even canonical with that universe at all.
yeah, I feel like Deadpool might be the character to bring in first, simply because, like, if he's
Well, they
brought in,
confirmed.
he's
Well, they
just
already
going to
confirmed
be
he's coming.
crazy and no one's going to acknowledge anything of what he says.
Well, it's gonna be the essence of how the Guardians of the Galaxies are portrayed. It's just a nice, silly, fun Marvel movie that people can enjoy and not worry about much of anything.
Yeah, I guess that's also right.
Because like Guardians of the Galaxy, when we first saw it, it much of the significance wasn't at a point besides the stone. And same as Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that not much of it was of any significance. It was just a fun movie that happened to tie in.
I mean,
And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is completely it's completely unrelated to the rest of the Marvel movies because of the
I
stone stuff.
mean, if like Peter Quill didn't kill his dad, the Earth would have been fucked. Like, I'm sure that was a plot point in the movie. Like,
Yeah,
didn't.
necessarily.
No, I'm sure it was like, didn't like, at one point, like, the weird thing is that seeds that Ego put in, like, the planets explode into, like, blue goo and it was in the Earth too. I'm
I
sure that
don't
was
think
a.
that's how that worked.
Yeah. Well, who knows how it works? It's weird
They
planet
explained it. They
sim.
explained it. I just don't remember how, but I don't think that's what the point of it was.
I think he would
I think it was
just.
just meant. I think it was just there to meant to keep him alive.
I guess. It was his weird planet come.
It was just some weird goo. That's all. Or no.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm moving along.
so I was surprised with the amount of attention to detail WandaVision had. Like, there was a lot of tiny details in, like, the clothing and a lot of things in the set. Even things like the bed frame. Like, I was surprised with how thoughtful they were with every single piece of the design.
I mean, they had to be accurate to the time frame furniture and all that. They kind of have to,
Yeah, but
because it
for
will be
example,
noticeable.
like the closet thingy that they put Wanda in episode 2, that has the
Well, yeah.
Mind Stone.
Yeah. Obviously, they have to pay attention to all that.
And the tiny details in the commercials, I am sure those might play some part in, like, future episodes. Because for example, the toaster, you know the toaster, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice that it was beeping like a bomb? Like, it reminded
I
me
think it's
of.
just. I think it's just a joke.
I feel like it's referencing to, like, the missile that Wanda and what's his name, Pietro, Quicksilver, that guy, like that bomb that was in their
I think I
house.
kind of doubt that. I think it's just a joke that it was just taking forever just to toast. I think that was just a joke. I doubt it has any sort of significance.
I don't know.
Like, I don't see how that would have any correlation to Quicksilver at all.
It feels weird to me that, like, they are putting all these details in, like, the commercials.
Well, yeah, they're adding little details. Honestly, like for all we know, these little infomercials could have some sort of significance for the later show because like they wouldn't just reference Stark Tech and Hydra without just having it be acknowledged at some point later on.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So there was something that, like, confused me a bit because, like, that helicopter did look like it was designed in, like, the 50s and 60s, but I don't know why it had color. Like, I
Well,
guess
that's the mystery. That's the mystery. You have
I
to
get
figure
it,
out what the show is
like,
really going on.
It
If
had
you're
this sort
well,
of.
thing is, you're looking for something they haven't explained yet. That's why you're going in circles with figuring out something they haven't put much information on. No one knows what's going on. No one knows why that helicopter is significant, or why it's the way like it is, or why all this red stuff is popping up.
Do you think even
Like,
Kevin Feige doesn't know?
well, he
Like,
obviously does know, but the thing is, it's a mystery. We have to build it up. We have to
hmm.
figure it out ourselves within the show, as with the characters. What's the
Do
point of
you
like?
think?
What's the point? What's the point of establishing it
Do
if it's
you?
gonna tell you straight away? Like Wanda's telling you what this means. That's kind of pointless
But
to bring
like,
it up then.
do you think they'll actually explain it, or will
I
it be
have to.
like? I am scared that they are going to be doing it like a
They're not.
mystery show. Like they don't
It's
even
most like it's.
explain it at the end, and they don't even mention
They're
it.
gonna have to. Like it's a mystery at this point. Yeah, the mystery. The characters have to figure out what's going on and discover what's happening. That's kind of the point.
I guess you're right.
I mean, like it's kind of odd to like. It's good to speculate, but kind of say it's like uh, put yourself in circles trying to figure out something that it's obviously hasn't been completely figured out yet. Like there's not enough information, so might as well let it come back over time rather than just trying to pull your hair out and try and make it go crazy.
I don't know. Ever since I saw the episode like yesterday, I have been thinking like, what is going on? Because it's such an unusual show. It's something I had never seen before. And well, I really like a lot of the attention to detail. That's what has me captivated the most because I just love sitcoms, especially those of like the 50s, 60s, 80s, and 90s. Like I used to watch a lot of Alf, the that guy Alf, the
I
alien.
don't really watch sitcoms over there, as in
Oh
that I
well,
don't.
he was an alien. I think they might reference that just because aliens.
Maybe who knows?
Do you think they'll release 2 episodes weekly? It feels like they.
If it goes by the schedule, they kind of have to because if it released one by one, it might sort of take away any sort of leeway with the next series that's coming out in March. Because thing is, if it
Yeah,
released two
like
by two, it released two
Winter
by
and the
two, then it gets enough.
Soldier.
It gives at least like enough time release with like the new show coming out. Like, hey, if 2 episodes come out, then we get a little week, like a few weeks before the new one comes out. Because if it's gonna do a long one, it's gonna give less time to adjust to a new show coming out. Because I'm pretty sure it's gonna turn some people off if it's come out straight after the one's currently ended.
I mean, I personally wish more things could be like released so I could watch, but at the same time, I feel like releasing 2 episodes per week might
Well,
be a
that's how
bit
they
too
keep the people
much.
captivated. Because like if it's like the Netflix like system, and it's released all at once, people would just binge watch it, move on, and they'll have no purpose for Disney Plus. They have to keep their audience somehow.
I
Kind of
guess
like
that's right.
how the TV does it, but TV is a little different story.
And I mean, they don't have enough things in Disney Plus to like keep people in so far.
Yeah, that's why they're doing with the system. Because
Like,
it's specifically it's specifically Disney owned properties. It's kind of limited on what they can show.
however, I heard a small bit of a rumor that they are going to remove any sort of Fox premium
It's not a rumor.
service,
It's
and
not
they
a
are
rumor.
going to put
They're
it
just
in
adding
Disney.
in like they're just adding in stuff from Fox thing. There's adding Fox things in Disney Plus that's available within their systems. It's not really a rumor,
I guess you're right.
but they have confirmed it within their business meetings they had during that time.
Hmm. It feels like Disney is doing a lot of moves with these shows. Like it's a massive investment. Like 250 million dollars for a singular show. that so far has only been like pretty basic stuff.
Well, the thing is, like, Marvel is basically their like cash cow within the moment of live action entertainment. Like Marvel shows rake in so much for them that they're willing to put so much product value within their shows and TV and movies, so they because they'll know will take it in and enjoy it. They know that.
Yeah, but
They
like
might as
it
well
has me a
make
bit
it the best they
worried.
could.
Like, where is the budget going? Like, are we going to see crazier stuff in like future episodes?
Well, based on the trailers, there are gonna be a lot more cinematic shots and all that, and a lot of the CGI that will be needed for, like, say, the powers and Vision's like abilities will be needed as well.
True, but like, how
Like,
much
I'm
are
pretty
they going
sure,
to
like, with
do?
these first two episodes, they're going small, but then eventually with the later ones, they're probably go a little bit more bigger, expanding a bit because there are wide shots of like whole cityscapes being used, and more like
Hmm.
tech and vehicles being played in as well.
I mean, I think like that's a pretty high budget for a show, and like this is
I mean,
plenty of
It's
time
Disney.
to develop things. Like
It's Disney. They don't mind spending that much if it means good quality at certain times.
it's like 4 hours and a half total worth of show. Like at least that's what I calculated right now, from going on from my mind and what I think was the actual like duration of a single episode. I think it might be like more, but it feels like they are going for a pretty extensive story. Like
I guess.
that's plenty of storytelling time, especially when we are used to like 2 hours and a half in a singular movie. Like, I can't tell if this is better or worse than a movie. Because, for example, we get Endgame and that's it. Meanwhile, we are getting like the mystery, the drama, the everything from this show. And like, at least I personally enjoyed it, mainly because I like the comedy. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you think about the whole comedy and all those aspects?
At first, I did enjoy it a lot. Better than expected. The product value, the comedy was actually pretty good. So a lot of the budgetary things they put into just to make it actually look good and honestly and authentic, be nice. A lot of good character flow with them, and honestly,
I am pretty surprised they especially with something, for example, like the mailman suit. Like that's a pretty good on era mailman suit, and it's just for a singular episode, and then it's like the the dress Wanda wears in the first episode. That's like that reminds me of like an episode of My Little Genie. You know that show from the 50s, 60s? Well, you probably don't because it's an old show, but a lot of that stuff is pretty good. It's pretty epic. That's what I'm gonna say. So, what do you think?
I'm not really sure on that type of stuff. It doesn't seem that really important. Important.
Do you think they are going to bring any important characters or like something like
Not,
that?
not at this point.
I don't mean in this point. I mean like
Well, that's something to wait
three,
and see.
four
Like, I'm not
episodes.
really sure like who they can. I'm not sure who they can add.
I feel like they might be able to add someone like Modoc, but I feel like
Honestly,
that's
how
a
you
bit
fit
of a
in?
stretch. Like maybe once
He
they
seems
are
more like a Falcon with a soldier character, honestly,
true, but I don't
since he's more
know.
connected with like Hydra and all that.
Hmm.
Because we don't know what role, if there's any villain at all. Honestly, we don't even know. For all we know, it could just be an existential like crisis, not really related to any villain.
I guess you're right. It could be
Because sometimes
anything really.
because really a story doesn't really need a villain. Sometimes like character's own dilemma can be the story, and that's basically it. If it's written well,
Wanda is her own villain.
in a sense, yeah.
I mean, it feels like she's in a coma, and like the whole who is doing this to you is like who is taking hold of your mind or something like that. But I feel like
It's not the way to
it's
see.
Wanda's own undoing. Like, this was partially her fault because, she's crazy like that. But it does feel like there's something going on. Like, what is actually going on with the show? Like, bits like the stop it and that guy choking, or like the glass breaking, that sort of leads me to believe that it's Wanda trying to stop remembering details, or it might be someone trying to stop them from remembering. But the biggest giveaway that I feel like it's Wanda's fault is simply the fact that Vision is there. Like, how is Vision back? You know?
I mean,
And I feel
I
like,
kind of doubt that has any sort of like play with like those two scenes. I don't think the. I think it's more something else, honestly, rather than just.
I don't know. I have a feeling that the Mind Stone in Vision's head is a real Mind Stone. Like, Thanos says that he reduced the gems to atoms. And, like, we know that, like, Wanda has partially, like, Infinity Stone powers from the Reality One or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I have a feeling she might have brought back the gem and like Vision to full strength, but it feels really weird to me, especially with how like Vision can like have super speed, he can have all these powers, some that we didn't even see like in the movies. It feels pretty weird to me. Like, what is Wanda doing? What do you think?
not really, not really sure. I don't really want to try to speculate on it because well,
Well,
speculating would just go lead into like a bunch of circles going around. It just make it enjoyable. I think it's better to go along with it and see what's going on rather than just like trying to assume something.
well, I guess that's also true. But we are two different people with two
Because really,
different point of
we're only two
views.
episodes in and we know nothing. So it's not really right. So it's kind of a too early to make big assumptions.
Okay,
Because we put a lot of emphasis on events that to us have no significance, but that have been highlighted in a different way. So we don't know what to make of it at the moment.
well, who do you think the beehive guy is? He kinda reminds me of like Swarm, that one Spider-Man enemy. Bones and
No,
Bees.
I doubt that.
I mean, it could be. In the same episode, we saw
I
like
doubt it.
Hydra, so it could be him. Otherwise, I think it might be someone else. Like, who could it be? It could just be a random guy from Sword. I mean, we don't know. Do we even know if he's still alive? Like, what did Wanda do to him? You know?
But looks like nothing really happened.
I guess you're right. So, is there anything we have to talk about the show? Something of
Not
note?
necessarily.
Hmm. Oh yeah, that one girl, like Miss Hart, is like she's from that '70s show, and not like '50s sitcom. No, '70s sitcom. She has experience in this whole thing, and like oh yeah, it's the second time we see Monica Rambeau. The first time we saw her in Captain Marvel, she was a young girl. Now she's an adult. So, alright. And we know that scrolls are working with like sword. Remember the end of like Far From Home? Sparta?
Hmm.
Remember the end from Far From Home?
No, I don't at all.
Oh yeah. Well, but basically Nick Fury was alive, and there was a bunch of scrolls.
I gotta be honest, I remember nothing from that movie. I didn't enjoy it, so I
I
don't
liked
remember that
it. It
movie.
was a pretty good movie.
It was pretty boring. The main character was dull. The one good character one was Nick Fury.
Well, Nick Fury wasn't Nick Fury, and
Well, the thing
I
is, he was like still young and all that, and was getting adjusted to like the idea of supers within the world.
hmm,
Like hell, like Shield wasn't even considered like she wasn't considered a thing yet.
what movie are we talking about?
I don't even start talking.
I was talking about Spider-Man. Like, we learn at the end of like Far From Home that Nick Fury is working with Skrulls, and like everyone in Shield is a Skrull now. And like we learn that it isn't Shield, it's actually Sword. So I have a feeling that quite a few characters in WandaVision are either Skrulls or there are going to be some kind of scroll
I
presence.
kind of doubt it, honestly.
It doesn't feel like the kind of show to go into that, but they pulled the plug on that in like Far From Home. So
For all we know, there could be just interpretations of people she's seen within the outside represented in her mind, going through all these different timescapes of reality. For all we know,
it could be anything for all we know. It could be her own undoing. It could be Mephisto. It could be Nightmare. It could be Shumagorath. It could even be what's his name? Morbius? No, that's another character. Who's the villain guy from Doctor Strange? Not the villain with the
talking about
eyes.
Dormammu,
No, no, the guy, the Morbius. No, Morbo.
Mordo.
That guy. Uh,
I doubt Mordo will have any significance to this show at all. He's coming back in the second Doctor Strange movie, I believe. So why would he be playing a role here?
I mean, I heard WandaVision might connect with Doctor Strange, but I don't
Well, I
really
mean,
know.
like I kind of doubt it. Like
Yeah,
the
it could
biggest
be
thing to connect
anything.
to that movie might be Spider-Man, since it's been rumored that Doctor Strange 2 is more connected with the multiverse, while it's been confirmed that Spider-Man 3 is already it's gonna be a multiverse movie.
But as we know, um,
And also, like, what can he
Wanda's
do against Wanda anyway? Mor Mordo is not as strong as Doctor Strange, and
True.
I doubt he'll have any effect on her. And he
But
doesn't have any sort of powers that can allow it to affect her at all.
we have been confirmed that Wanda is actually going to appear in Doctor Strange 2. So, you know, it has some credibility. Like, we have seen her in posters.
If anything, if anything, this might set up her abilities going within that movie to give it a little insight to why she's like this at this movie.
True.
Maybe a little setup, probably.
Are we getting Doctor Strange before What If?
I'm pretty sure, but I don't see any reason why it mattered.
Well, What If is about alternate universes and all that sort of stuff. So, Multiverse of
Yeah, but I
Madness.
don't think we can correlate at all, just because I mean that yeah, what if is coming out during the summer, and Doctor Strange 2 doesn't have any sort of uh doesn't have any sort of doesn't have a release date at the moment.
True. Well, I guess what we can pull from WandaVision is that your mind has pretty strong powers over things. If you just put a little power into your imagination, you might even be able to create an alternate reality, right? I'm pretty sure everyone can make their own reality. Have you heard of those guys that like shift into Harry Potter?
No.
They are basically some crazy dudes that like say, "Oh, I'm shifting," and they start concentrating a lot, and they say like, "I was, I was in Howard's, and I saw Harry, and Luna gave me a blowjob," and that's it. They are basically crazy people, but it might be real. So what were your final thoughts on these two episodes? Did you enjoy them? Did you fully think about them? Are you happy with what is going on so far? Are you
So far,
excited for?
so far it's been more than I expected, and I'm excited to see what comes out more of it.
Well, I personally am excited to see how this will actually unfold instead of like speculation and like I fully am expecting a 180, but at the same time I'm expecting it to be Wanda, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was someone else. Well, at least we are getting Weekend and Speed, right? They show the babies in the trailer.
Yeah, but no way insignificance their play yet, so we don't be sure.
I mean, uh, their significance is probably going to be like, um, Wanda is going to have to protect them, or Vision is going to, because we see that things go south in like the trailers. Well, I'm going to wait for Sparta. That was kind of funny that he left. Oh, there you are again. So, final thoughts? Anything you want to say before I cut?
No, not really.
Well, my final thoughts on it were that basically I'm really excited for it. I really hope that we see something more. than just sitcoms, even though I am really enjoying them. But I have some high hopes for like episode 7 and 8 of this series. Maybe episode 4. But yeah, I'm really happy with what I saw so far. So, well, that was it, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And will leave a like and a subscribe and a comment. And we will be doing this again next week with the next episodes of WandaVision. We are going to be covering Winter Soldier and the Falcon and like The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, all those Disney shows that are going to come out. We might even go around to doing some stuff like Wonder Woman or any other DC property, maybe even going back to a video game. Just leave us a comment. Just tell us what you wanna see, and maybe we'll do it. Right, Sparta? Right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I hope you guys had a good night, and we'll see you guys later. Say goodbye, Sparta.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.